Hello everybody, welcome back to another Vagabond review, and today I'll be reviewing volume 7 of Vagabond and giving my first initial thoughts and what I thought about it. This will probably be a little bit of a shorter one just because there wasn't too much that actually went on in this volume. It was more uh, a little backstory, but mostly it was a standoff between Miyamoto and Inshin. It starts off with Miyamoto or Masashi, not Miyamoto. Masashi training, still preparing for the fight against Inshin, and he is mostly just doing some mental training in picturing himself fighting and all the moves that Inshin would do. And during the process, he ends up realizing he could start it earlier and try to sneak attack him in the middle of the night. Because during all of his training, he still doesn't believe he can actually beat him in a fight. And during the process of him going there to try to sneak attack him, he decides not to. He ends up having kind of a mental conversation with his father about the sneak attack, because that's what he tried to do to his father. And it just it led to him deciding to wait until the actual fight. And as he's preparing, he's accepting the outcome of what happens will happen. And he ends up thinking about Otsu, which this volume focuses more on, a little bit more on her, slightly, and the other kind of master that was mentioned before that Misashi could have trained under. Yaguru, I believe might have been the name. But apparently him and Izo, right, Izo, both trained under the same master. And so it seems like they're two separate paths of that master's kind of teaching. One is more sword sword play, and another one uses spears, and they're both good at disarming instead of actually fighting. The ends up talking about the the advice their master gave them was become the sword, and during their sparring and practice fights, their master would always go barehanded and just disarm them, taking their weapon for himself. And this is being talked about by his name was, I think it was Yagura or Yaguru, but and or Hozuin were both were kind of talking about their master at the same time. Yaguru was telling it to Otsu, who's currently taking care of him, and it, I was telling it to one one other monks. Forgot his name. It was something like Agion, or Agon. I think it's pronounced Agion or Agon. And during kind of just during this whole volume, it's a standoff between Misashi and Inshin. They don't fight. It's the case of whoever makes the first move kind of might lose, or there's just no opening for somebody to even make a move. At one point, Inshin does kind of swing the spear at Musashi, and Musashi dodges it, but that was the only attack actually made. Because Musashi seems like he's finally starting to master the holding in his bloodlust and seeming perfectly calm. And because that has Inshin more on edge, preparing for what might happen. And it's because of how calm Musashi is, it's also making him seem more powerful than he was before. And it's making Inshin less confident in himself of if he will actually be able to win their fight or not. And it doesn't. Not much happens in this volume between a fight, or between the two in their fight. It's just Agon and Ray just talking about what is kind of going on between the two of them. And Agon asks, why he named or made Inshin the kind of successor or the next head of the temple. Because everybody else since the temple tends to not like him. But that conversation didn't didn't lead to too much. And he also asked about why he trained Musashi. And it was kind of just because he saw him, a little bit of himself. I think it was, he also saw Yaguru as, saw Musashi as a younger version of Yaguru, where he, similar personalities at the time and similar training, but Musashi is younger than Yaguru was when he started training under their master, so he was able to adapt more to the kind of lessons. Now, specifically doesn't consider Musashi as a student or a pupil because he is not a monk, or not because he's a monk. It's not specifically stated why. I believe it's because he is on his own journey and stuff, and not willing to give that up. And so he was going to teach him, but not. Well, he himself doesn't consider Sashi as a proper pupil or student, just somebody who he taught some lessons to. And not. Oh. There was one case where Toji showed up to Yaguru and was wanting him to end him because of the fact he ran away from Inshin. And because of how strong Inshin was, and now he no longer has. He said that he no longer has dignity or honor, and wants to go out on his own terms and tries to get Yaguru to take him out so he can at least be taken out by a well-known swordsman or swordsmaster. And he was kind of hiding in the shadows originally, trying to sneak attack him, but Yaguru called him out, sensing his presence. And when they start to fight, Yaguru just disarms Toji and knocks him down onto the ground. And he ends up being detained. That's kind of it for the volume. It ends off with seeming like Inshin is about to make a move. Sorry, this video came out a little later than was originally gonna. Some stuff has come up, making it slightly harder to get this video out. I plan on my next video being part 2 to the Akane Banashi review. And after that, the next video will be the review for Volume 8 of Vagabond. And the video after that should also be the review for Volume 9 of Vagabond. The Akane Banashi review will come out probably by Thursday next week. And in that video, I'll announce the next series I'll be reviewing for the manga from A to Z series. That will be it for this video. Sorry once again that I wasn't able to get this video out on time originally, but try to get them out on time from now on. I'm thinking about maybe Fridays might be the easiest for me to upload videos on. So videos might start coming out on Fridays from now on. But that's been it for this Vagabond review. And I will see you all next time. Bye.